Good day, folks. One thing that we all know, doesn't matter whether you're a producer or a consumer, the value of an accurate scale is extremely important. As a consumer, you will go into a shop buying your groceries, and the first thing that you will do, you will look at the weight of that vegetables, and then you will look at the price so that you can look at the price per kg. I can remember when I've still been farming, you can often misjudge yourself. You can't just estimate something, just take a wild guess, because normally you will be wrong. I can still remember, especially those black steers. You will look at that steer and you will think the thing is still too light. And then when you put it on the scale, you will be surprised. The same thing if you regularly measure your cattle, take their weights. You can realize, okay, they're busy losing weight now, long before your eyes will tell you that. And God says in Proverbs 11 verse 1, He hates a false scale. In other words, when people cheat each other in business, He wants us to do business in an honest and a transparent way, so that both sides, that it can be a win-win for all. That's why even today, if you make judgments about people, it's important that you judge people the way that God is judging them, using the same scale that He is using. And He has given us the Word. We are living in a society where people do not know what is ethically wrong and what is right. They don't know anymore. They're confused. Why? Because everybody thinks, it just depends on my feeling. If I feel this is the way that we're supposed to do it, then that's right. No. God is saying there's one objective way to measure. Always bring it to the scale of God's Word, because the Word will tell you. The Word will tell you what is wrong and what is right. The Word will tell you how God sees it, because the way that He sees it, that's the objective right. We will differ with regards to so many things. But whenever we measure it against God's Word, we can relax. We've been looking at people and talking about people. How do you estimate and value people? If you put them on a scale, and God said the scale that you must use is the same scale that He is using. Love, grace. Don't be hard on people. Don't condemn them. Don't judge them too easily. And because scales are so important, even in society, our society will be chaotic without the right kind of scales. And that's why we've got educated judges in our courts. Because when that judge is looking at that, if it's a criminal case, it will be like a scales in front of him. Then the jury must be convinced beyond doubt, beyond reasonable doubt. In other words, they know if this guy is guilty, he will go to jail. And you can't just play with the freedom of people. That's why they want to be convinced without reasonable doubt. But if it's just a civil case, two neighbors with an argument, the scales that the judge will use, he will listen to this guy's story and this guy's story, and then on a balance of probabilities, the decision will be taken. In other words, you only need 51% to tip the scale in your favor. But Isaiah is going further. Further than that, Isaiah 45, verse 15 and verse 17 He's saying that we can judge God. We can value God objectively. He said, if you take a scales, you and I know that it's not a problem if there's dust on a scale, because it won't have any influence on the weight. But Isaiah say, if you just take one speck of dust on that scale, on the one side, and you put God on the other side, I mean, you can take all the mighty armies of this world, all the nations of the world, put them on one side of the scale, and they will be like nothing compared to God. The whole universe is like nothing compared to God. Because the scale, the weight of His glory is so immense. There's no doubt as to what the right decision is for you to make. Choose God, because nothing else in the universe can satisfy you. His value is like that. He is so heavy, nothing else can compare to Him. I bless you in His wonderful name.